Afternoon, Blue Ridge. This is going to be an easy short one. Later on, I've got a 12-step program to attend. And if I'm late one more time, well, I'm going to have to start over. Who wants to pour all that beer out again? So what we're going to make today is a sort of contemporary micro garden hanging planter made out of steel and bronze. Can't you just see it now? So I'm challenging myself. The drugs have worn off, the ADD's kicking in. I need something to keep me mentally acute. How can we make a planter out of 5 pieces of steel? Pretty darn easy. Cube would be 6. That's really stupid. Tell you what, let's just go cut some metal and see what happens. I've actually got a bunch of this metal that's already this shape, so it's kind of a bonus. This just happens to be the width of the planter I wanted. Let's make this about 13 inches with a 5-inch deep thing for plants. And so the challenge here will be to see if we can make this whole planter out of this one little piece of metal. Don't try to measure every piece exactly 13 inches. Use the first piece as a template. Here's the 2 sides to the planter. So this will be the bottom of our planter. Look how small. Bottom to the planter. I might need to explain myself. This is going to be a very small planter, maybe for some really tiny succulents or a cactus or something. It's going to hang, so I don't want to have too much weight. And how deep should a planter be? Somebody's over there. We go kick their asses. Oh yeah. Bueno. All right, so here's what I have. 5 pieces. 2 sides, a bottom, and 2 more sides. How can this possibly make a planter? So now all I have to do is knock the edges off of this metal so I can weld it with bronze, drill a few holes, and then we'll have ourselves a hanging planter. Okay, so what we're getting ready to do now is TIG weld up our hanging planter. TIG welding is kind of like airbrushing but with a flame. And we're going to use silicon bronze. Not that you care, but this is silicon bronze. This is a big, strong magnet. Holds everything into place. Sort of. Here's the thing about TIG welding. I have to hold that silicon bronze in one hand, and I hold that welding flame torch in the other, and then I have to come into the 90-degree angle of the metal and dab that along and drip it. So you slightly melt the base metal, and you melt the silicon bronze, and flow it into that seam, and that's what makes your weld. TIG welding is by far the biggest pain in the ass of all the types of welding. However, it is the technique of welding that allows you the most artistic freedom. This is crazy hot right now, but here's the bronze welds on the planter, and once they cool down, I can polish them up on the spinning Scotch-Brite disc. Go up and go. One day I'm going to take some welding lessons. Oh! I just got shocked. I wasn't grounded. Alright, and there's the other side TIG welded. Alright, so now the $64,000 question. What to do with these 2 pieces right here to give it a little bit of a contemporary twist? Watch this. So my thinking with this bottom part, because this is how it's going to hang, get a couple C-clamps and bring these 2 end pieces together, giving it sort of a teardrop look. I've forgotten most of my physics, but all things being equal, this should meet in the middle. Or just explode. It worked! Alright, there's the fanny welded. What to do now is polish up the welds, drill a couple holes, find some cabling, and fashion up a big steel ring. Alright, so here's where I'm at. Major dilemma. I'm not really confident in this glue for some reason. So I decide to drill and tap every one of these in each corner and then put in an anodized aluminum hex head. Okay, 4 holes drilled. But you know what? This actually looks pretty cool. And though it's a little more work, it's going to give the whole piece kind of a bump up to the next level. Okay, so here I got a bag of anodized aluminum hex head bolts, and I'm going to put those in to hold the copper to the steel. Kind of neat. So how's it hanging? Pretty good, I must say.